Hi Flosstube, it's Becky, the South Texas Stitcher. Today is Monday, March 8th, 2021. We've officially been in COVID lockdown now since a full year, I believe they said. This is in Texas though, and in 2 more days they're going to remove our mask mandates. Now, I have family members who are jumping for joy, and I have family members who are freaking out. I personally feel that if you feel safe, you go to your store, let me know where it's at, and I'll just go someplace else. I intend to wear my mask for a while longer. That's my personal preference. I've been shot twice with the COVID shot, so I am fully vaccinated against it. But I'd like to err on the side of caution, and so I'll continue to wear my mask. So I hope that wherever you're at, that you just use common sense and don't get crazy with things just yet. Anyway, I have been to a retreat. Yay! It was exciting. It was fun. I got to see people. I got to stitch with people. I got to go shopping at a cross stitch store. It was awesome. Meanwhile, so yes, I've been busy. So just let's say, if this is your first time to watch, hello. This is your coming back. Hello, I'm glad you're coming back. Can't speak today. I just came back from shopping. Spent a lot of money. Unfortunately, some of it's for paint. So I'm going to have to paint the hallway, the dining room, the kitchen, and the living room because it's one of those big open areas and you can't just paint part of it and stop because it won't work. You have to continue on. And our house literally cracked last year among all the COVID stuff. And so we had to have the foundation lifted on one side of the house to bring it back together where it cracked in the hallway. We have fixed the seams and everything, and now it needs to be painted to cover up the repair. So it'll all be one color again. Chekhov is not happy. I am not at a table, so he cannot walk across in front of me, so ha ha ha. So instead, he's sitting on everything I want to show you. So we'll see how this works with me fighting with him. As I said, I went to a camp. It was in New Braunfels, Texas. It was from Thursday to Sunday, a week ago. We had a great time. Really enjoyed it. And then I have been invited to go to another camp in April. So I'm waiting for the information on that, and we'll see how that goes. It's further away from home. I've never been to this one, so I'm excited to see how it works. And the furry wonder has got up and moved, so now I can get to the things I was going to show you. First of all, let me show you Lady Liberty is finished. Woohoo! She is the top of a drum. The last time I showed you that I had finished the side. So she's the top. Sorry, I didn't iron these. But she's going to be the top of the drum. It's the Blackbird Designs Lady Liberty. I saw this done by Nisi Lynn. I love watching Nisi Lynn videos. But she didn't do the top. I did the top because I have to tell you why. My family is military. I may have mentioned that before. We bleed red, white, and blue, I guess you could say. My mother's one of those people, she gets up in the morning, puts out the American flag, and when the sun starts to set, she takes her American flag in. We usually have one out with a light on it, but the Texas sun bleaches them, and I just have not yet replaced it, so at this moment, we don't have one out. My husband, excuse me, my nose itches. My husband was in the military, and so is my son. I have a nephew who's in the military right now. He's an officer serving in, I think he's in Iowa or something like that. It's a northern state. Begins with an I. I don't remember which one. Anyway, this Lady Liberty. And I don't know if they even realized what they were doing. You will notice her flag is going this way. If you ever look at a military member's uniform when they've got the patches on the sleeves, you will see what looks like a backwards flag. It's not backwards. When you run into battle, your flag streams behind you, making the blue here, not over here. So you are moving forward. You are attacking. You are no retreat. She's got her needle in this hand. American flag, no retreat. We're going to stitch. Get it done. I loved this look. When I saw this and realized this is a moving person. If you ever want to figure out how to do stitching where it looks like it's moving, she looks like she's moving. Her flag is streaming behind her and she's going forward and she's got that needle in her other hand. This is awesome. This is an American flag moving forward. No retreat. I love that. As I said, I don't know if Blackbird Designs considered that, but I think it's great. I'm going to make the drum, and hopefully by the next time I do one of these, the drum will be finished. I've read the instructions 4 times. I understand there's some videos to watch on YouTube about drums. My problem is on the back of the pattern, they give you a template. If you use 32, is it 32? 36 count fabric. I didn't read that part. Excuse me. I didn't read that part. 36 count fabric. I didn't read it. I used 30 count. So now the template is not going to work. So I have to do math and brain things. I was asking my husband last night about making the circle and everything, and he goes, I don't have to do that anymore. Why are you asking me? And I said, well, I said, you know, you went to college? Didn't you have to do that kind of stuff? He goes, that was a long time ago. It's like, what an excuse. The next thing I'm going to do, since I can now move on with something else, yay! And I've got fabric. I just have to go pull it. I don't know what I'm going to do. But this is this is my new pattern to start. Oops. Throwing things on the floor. Since this is March, I actually had wanted to get this started already and have it done in time for St. Patrick's Day. But I have not yet started it because I was trying to finish up Lady Liberty. But this is it. This is Beggar's Luck from Threadwork Primitives. And it's this crow, and it's got a horn blowing out the shamrocks, and it says March 17th. These are the colors. They're all Weeks Dye Works. There's only 5, and they are olive, pecan, moss, onyx, and Garrison green. And that's going to be what they look like. That's a very good, that's a good color copy there, right there. So I think it's going to look lovely. I just need to get the fabric. I have some fabric that's just natural, but that looks more greenish gray than natural. So I haven't tossed the floss on it, so to speak, yet. And when I was at the cross stitch store in Comfort, Texas, the tinsmith's wife, I grabbed several skeins of each one because here lately I buy a skein of floss and go, all right, I'm ready to stitch, and realize halfway through I don't have enough. So I bought multiples of everything this time. So that was Beggar's Luck. And while I was ordering that one, I also got Beggar's Valentine, Beggar's Night for Halloween, and Beggar's Christmas. And all of them have the date. So I was thinking about it. I already did the 4th of July. In fact, when I saw the 4th of July, I thought that was the only one that was out. And I was looking at some stuff online and came across Beggar's Luck, and I went, hey, there's another one. I should do that one. And when I went to order it, that's when I found the others, and I went, oh, okay. And I started thinking about it. You have only certain holidays nowadays that fall on the exact same day, because we are bad about making 3 days and 4 day weekends. We keep moving some dates. Like you couldn't do a Labor Day because you never know what day Labor Day is going to be on. And you couldn't do President's Day because who knows what President's Day is going to be on. And you know, the 4th of July is the 4th of July. Halloween is Halloween. Christmas is Christmas. So those dates will always stay the same. Valentine's and St. Patrick's Day. And I could not think of another holiday. Well, you can't do Memorial Day either because it flips around also. So it just is one of those things where you just don't know where you're going to be at. And I would show you the freebie, but there's no pattern for it, but it's very cute that they sent me with those patterns. It's very cute. It's a bowl and it's got vines out of it, and the flowers on the ends are little hearts. Very cute. So that was a good portion of what I want to do in the future, what I'm going to be doing hopefully soon. The other thing, when I was at camp, I picked up some stuff. So Lady Liberty I worked on at camp. I was trying to finish it there and I just couldn't get it done. So in the last week I finished her up and everything. I would have been finished with her several days ago, except I actually bought a jigsaw puzzle and did a jigsaw puzzle just because it was something different and something I haven't done in a while, and I do like jigsaw puzzles. So I purchased that and enjoyed it immensely. So the next thing I want to show you, oh, let me pause you for just a second. Oh, I didn't cut you off. I actually paused you correctly. I wouldn't have unpaused you, except it would devastate my daughter if she saw this, because I'm wearing a pair of shorts. And I have to tell you, I laughed the other day on Facebook, and I don't know why the subject came up. I don't remember why. She was talking to her sister, I think, on Facebook, and she commented that the only time I embarrassed her was when I wore some shorts, which I still have and I still wear. But I don't usually go out when I'm wearing them, and they're usually my wear around the house shorts. And I forget where we were going, but I had to stop and get gas. I think we were going through a drive-through, but I realized I needed to get fuel or we were not making it back home. And I devastated her that I got out of the truck in those shorts and pumped gas. And I told her, I don't know what she's complaining about. I at least had nice legs. Well, she was complaining once again about this on Facebook, about how the only time I embarrassed her was when I wore those shorts. And I told her, I said, I have nice legs. Live with it. And then I thought about it. I must be falling down as a mom, because I only embarrassed her once. What did I do wrong? I should have been embarrassing her all the time. I mean, it would have, been hysterical. But obviously I only embarrassed her once. The other one didn't say anything about me embarrassing her, so I don't know. The other thing I bought when I was at the cross stitch store, it's a store that has knitting, needlepoint, and cross stitch. And when you walk in, it's knitting, 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 knitting. And then you go to another section of the store and it's all the fibers, all the DMC, the overdyes, sparkly floss, fuzzy floss, everything. And then it's got 2 rooms full of cross stitch stuff, 2.5 rooms almost really. And then you go to the back and there is more yarns, and at the end there is all of the needlepoint painted pieces. My brain just shut down. I can't put you on the piece you actually needlepoint on. I know there's a special word for it. I can't think what you call it. Anyway, while we were there, and I really went in to buy the floss, because I already knew the pattern was coming in, and I needed to get the floss for it to start. So I went in, I got my floss, I was pretty much done. Didn't need anything else. I think, I didn't even buy a pattern. I looked at the patterns while I was there, while everybody else was there. But I was like, I don't need these patterns. I've got patterns coming in. I don't need them. Oh, I do have a pattern I bought there. I don't know what I do with it. Oh, I do have it. Okay. Anyway, I'd already checked out. I went to over where everybody else was standing, and they were going back out to check out again. And I'm like, oh, okay. They found more stuff. Good. Well, then I realized why they were checking out again. I don't know how many of you have seen these. I have a small one that I was gifted, but this is one I have purchased. This is from a company called Knitter's Pride, and it is what looks like just a binder. And this one is fabric. The other one I have is plastic. But these, they fold over. They snap, and then they've got the magnets. So when you're stitching, you can put your pattern on here and use the magnet to keep track where you're at, or you can turn it this way and you're good to go. So, I mean, awesome. And it has a little pouch on the back over here for you to keep things in. If you wanted to keep, like, you know, a little ruler or something, or some needle minders. It's got a pencil holder, or pen holder, whatever you want to do. Now they're from Knitter's Pride, and that's because they usually make them for people while they're knitting to put their patterns on. And I'm knocking stuff around here. So they're under the knitting section, but they are made by Knitter's Pride. Right there. And they have several different patterns. I bought the last one. It was funny because we all said, oh, look, we all picked one up and went back to the register. We bought her out. It's like, okay, yeah, you're not going to have any more of these. Sorry about that. And no, we're not knitters, but we're taking them with us. So it was, you know, a funny thing that none of us knitters, and we cleaned her out of her knitter's books. So very happy with this. I bought a new light. I think I told you my original light exploded on me. Flame shot out of it. And my husband said, we're not plugging that back in again. So a couple of weeks ago, back in early February, I think, some friends of mine who I was stitching with on Zoom with commented that Joann's was doing a special on lights, and they were 60 or 70% off or something like that. I think it was 60% off. And I was like, ooh, I need a new light. So I went and looked, and I got an excellent light. And it's one of the ones that has a little swing arm for your tablet to sit on if you're using Pattern Keeper. This sits on it also for the patterns that are not in Pattern Keeper. It's been working great. Part of my problem when I stitch is Chekhov likes to get up there on the little table that's next to me, and he knocks everything off. And so I'm forever having to shift the pattern around. Well, now that it's on this swing arm off that's attached to the light, he can't get to it, but he can bump it, but he's no longer sitting on it. He's no longer knocking it onto the floor. So I can put it on the swing arm, and if he gets too crazy, I just swing it aside for a few minutes until he calms down or goes away. Preferably goes away. So I'm really enjoying this. As I said, this is by Knitter's Pride. According to when we got back in the car, we were looking. They are on Amazon. Either that or look at a knitting store. I have not yet seen a cross stitch store carry them, but they're awesome. What's so funny is when I got this, I had forgotten that I had the small, and this is the large one. There's two sizes. I had forgotten that I had the small one, and it's because it's with a pattern that I need to work on, and I put it away, and because the pattern was with it, I just closed it all up and put it away. Well, I need to take the pattern off so I could use it. But now I have this one. this one's not going away, so it's a good thing. And I just realized that I had forgot that I did buy a pattern when I was in Comfort. I don't know how many of you have ever heard of WDW Tapestry. It's in France. I've always been fascinated by it. Even when I was a little girl, when I saw, I don't know if it's the size of it, or the age of it, or the style of stitching on it. All I know is the Bayeux Tapestry fascinates me, and I know that there's a special museum just for it because it is so big. I forget how many yards of fabric it is. But when I was at, my brain just quit. Where did I go? The Tismith's wife in Comfort. She carries some of the European patterns, and I picked up a section of the Bayeux Tapestry. And this is the cavalry charge, I think it said. Yeah, the cavalry. So it's, I mean, I was like, wow, I have a piece of the Bayeux Tapestry. And it was fully kitted. So it has the floss, and it comes on Aida. I don't know if I'm going to use that. It even came with a needle. And when we got back to the camp after we'd been to our field trip for the camp, I didn't know if thought about starting it. And I was like, no, I'm not going to start it. I've got too many other things I'm going to do right now. This is going to wait. And I don't know if I'm going to start this on my birthday or what. But I loved it. When I saw this was the Bayeux Tapestry, I was like, yes, yes. And I don't think it's exceptionally large, this piece, because it's in centimeters. But it's on 14 count Aida. Yeah, I don't know how big it is, but it's in 39 by 26 centimeters. So if you know centimeters, maybe you can tell me what that is. I need to write it down. But yes, I fell in love with this when I saw it. Because as I said, I wasn't going to buy any patterns because I have so many things to do already. So, yes. The only other thing, let's see. Yes, I did buy this. Just a new hoop. This hoop was a little more expensive than I wanted to pay for, because usually I just go to Joann's and get a hoop for $1 or $2 or something like that. But this one is fat. It's 5/8 of an inch. And I've been having trouble holding the little skinny ones. And the plastic ones hurt my hands because they're all so skinny. This one is fat. It's 5/8 of an inch. I can hold this and it feels comfortable in my hand, and I don't feel like I'm eating into my hand. And because the edges have been smoothed and routed and everything, I had one of the ones from Joann's sleeve splitters in my hand. That really didn't help. And I'm trying to think of who made this one. I don't remember who made this. But if you find one, I can see it in my head, the name of the company. Let's see. I thought I had saved it. I guess not. Anyway, I need to find out what that is so I can tell y'all who made it, because it's fantastic. I love it. Even just sitting here doing this, it's smooth and it feels good in your hands. So yes, I highly recommend the wider hoops. So, I think that was all from the question store. Anyway, I did work on 3 pieces when I was at camp. Lady Liberty for sure. And then I worked on my new long dog. I should have worked on Pandemic, and I did not. In fact, I have not worked on Pandemic in 3 weeks, and I had told myself I was going to do it every Sunday, and I just have not. So I'm working on Legal High, and I'm working on, oh, no, that's right. I'm working on this corner. Thought I had it upside down. I'm working on that corner there. So that's what I have done so far. And I'm doing this on 28 count fabric that I dyed myself. And the floss is Sulky floss. And I am using 4055. And it's called Royal Navy blendable. I don't know if that's going to show up correctly or not, but it's a bit blendable, and it has just a little bit of change there. There you go. It's very subtle, so unless you know what to look for on the stitching, you almost can't see the color changes, but it is there. And I love it. It's one of those deals where I started stitching with it and went, oh yes, I like this. And I did Pandemic in a very similar blue, and I had told myself I was not going to do another big piece in blue because Death by Cross Stitch. Death by Cross Stitch was enough blue for anybody. But this Royal Navy is just gorgeous. And my son gave me my needle minder. It's my steampunk needle minder. I love steampunk. I'm a little old to rock the steampunk look, but I love steampunk, and he knows that. So he gave me a set of 3 steampunk needle minders. I'm impressed he knew what a needle minder was. So then the other pattern I worked on when I was at camp. Ooh, this is not. Let me just take this off. I got pulled. I'm working on Southern Land by Owl Forest Embroidery. If you have not been to their website, I highly recommend it. If you just want to test some of their patterns, they have a good selection of free patterns. In fact, they just did a new one that is bluebirds, which is very pretty, very springy, very light color. So this is Southern Land. And I did not buy their floss because it would have taken forever to get to Texas. What I did was I bought the pattern, and it gives you the DMC equivalent of their floss. And since I did not want to go and wait for that, I pulled the DMC, and then I went back and took the DMC because I didn't want to buy it. What I did was I pulled the DMC colors so I would know what they were, and then I matched them to over dyes. So I have Jaybird from Weeks Dye Works, Oh Blue Jeans from Classic Color Works, and then I have Louisiana Hot Sauce, and I have Grenadine. Oops, there you go. Sorry. Grenadine. So when you look at them, flip it this way. There. So when you look at the colors, that matches very closely what they have on their website to show for their floss. And I really enjoy it. If you watch Lori, the Mischievous Stitcher, she has just recently finished hers. She did hers on, I think, 40 count fabric using the DMCs, and I like this, and I don't know why I haven't done more of it. I just haven't picked it up, but it's very enjoyable. And I'm doing that on, I think it's called custard cream, 30 count custard cream, and I don't know what company that was. It probably is Access Commodities, because I really like Access Commodity fabric. So it's probably Access Commodity, but I'm really enjoying working on that. Oh, here. Should show you what the pattern looks like. There is Southern Land, and it's so pretty. They also have one called Northern Land, and I may have mentioned that before, but I didn't. It's more reds, but I didn't care for the northern lands as much as I did for southern lands. Southern lands is more patriotic, in my opinion. So let me get my key snap back together. Otherwise, I'll lose pieces. I don't know if y'all have you ever lost your pieces of Q snaps? Ugh, very annoying. Aha! My recording was about to stop, so I thought I better refresh it. So, when I was at camp, we have a silent auction, we have a raffle, and we have a regular auction. And they always call it the live auction. And I told them, I said, well, you know, if it's a dead auction, you're just not having any fun at all. To which they were like, that is true. So I never call anything a live event, because if you're dead, it's not going to be any fun. Anyway, it was too funny. We had put all our tickets in for the raffle drawing. Last year, I won one of the raffles. This year, one of the prizes you can win is usually a free trip to another camp. Well, I put a lot of my tickets in that one and just put a few tickets in the other. Well, just before they did the drawings, they came out and said that because of how much money we were able to raise on the raffle, and the money goes towards keeping the cost of our trip down. So because everybody was so great in buying tickets and everything, that they gave everybody one extra free ticket. And I put my name on it, and I dropped it into one of the boxes that I really hadn't put hardly any tickets in to begin with. And it kind of matched the raffle I won in November when I went to that camp. So they were all joking about it only took one free ticket to win something. Well, the second thing they out there that they pulled was my name in the one thing that I had put in like one ticket, and it was the free ticket, and I laughed. And then one of the other ladies, she did the same thing with her free ticket. She put it in one of the other things that she hadn't really thought about putting in. She won one like that too. We were laughing about, hey, you know, it's true. One ticket, that's all we needed. But the reason I laughed is because the pickup trucks are big. And I have a truck, and my husband has a truck, and he has a work truck. So in our house, we have 3 pickups at all times. So this is the lid. It's a lid. This is the lid to the box that I won. It goes with this. And I just fell in love with it. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, and it's too funny because this is a bluish truck with spring flowers. And in November, I won a greenish truck, almost the same color, but it's more green than this, that had pumpkins, almost the same colors. And I just laughed because I thought, I'm getting a collection of trucks, and I didn't even know I was going to collect them. So it was one of those deals where, you know, how they used to do on, who was it? Let's Make a Deal and stuff like that. And you go, but wait, there's more. I started pulling the things because you didn't just win the box. You won this. There was things in the box. And the first thing I pulled out, which I was immensely grateful for, was a new pair of scissors. And the reason I say I was immensely grateful for it, because I get to camp and I realized I left my scissors, all my little box that I have with scissors and needles and stuff, I left it at home. And I was not driving all the way home just for a pair of scissors. But when I got there, I had, just before I left, I had tucked an old box full of stitching stuff into the truck with me, and I don't know why I took it with me. I just took it with me because I wasn't going to stitch on it. It had a pair of scissors in it. I get to camp, the scissors break. I mean, they just literally this 2 halves came apart, and then it didn't want to work, and I was having to almost, you know, carefully. I'd put it back together just enough to clip a couple of threads, and that was it. So I was very grateful that I won a pair of scissors because I needed a pair. And everybody went, we all have scissors. You could have borrowed ours. I said, It's not the same as having your own. I didn't want to sound stupid going to a stitch camp and not having scissors. So I was grateful for that. In my little box of doodads, I have a needle threader. I forgot, since I didn't have my box, I didn't have a needle threader. They had a needle threader. So, and this one is long. Let's see. This one is a long needle threader. I was very impressed at the length of that baby, because all the other ones are very short. So this one you can also use to pull your threads. If you can get that part to go into underneath the threads, you can use that to pull your threads if you don't have enough to run back on your needle. So they got the needle threader, and then excuse me. Since we are in Texas, I got a ceramic. Let me see if I can put this back on its little card. This is the card it came on. A ceramic bluebonnet needle minder. It is so pretty. It's not very thick either. This was made by the TexasHillCountryCeramics.com. I thought it was so pretty. And once again, when I got to camp, I didn't have my needle minders with me. Well, one of the things I took to camp with me was that monster kit my son gave me for my birthday / Christmas present. And I had forgotten that they had the steampunk needle minders in there. And I went to show it to one of the ladies she does all kinds of solid stitching pieces. So when I opened, I said, "Oh my gosh, my needle minders! I have needle minders!" And then I won a fourth one. So I had 4 there with me. And then in the box, wait, there's more. I don't know how many of y'all have used these little clips. These are the Wonder Clips. A lot of quilters use them. I like to use them when I'm putting my projects together because they hold the stuff down tightly and works very well. These are the small ones. The other ones I have personally purchased were bigger than these, but these are great. Then I got a little magnetic needle minder box. And I thought this was neat because I love black fabric with red roses on it. Then I won this little round compartment box. I'm assuming that you're supposed to put beads and stuff in it. So I thought that was cool. So, and I haven't used any of these yet. So I won the box with those compartments. Then I won a stack of little boxes. And they unscrew and they're the lid for the next one. So the top one has one lid, and in this one is the lid for this one, and so on until you get down to the end. And then if you want, you can move this one up because that's also got the threads. So I have that. Wait, there's more. Size 26 needles. Always can use those. Color pencils to mark your pattern. And a pencil sharpener. Great. Because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to sharpen those. I don't remember the last time I had that kind of a pencil sharpener. Highlighters. Wait, there's more. A new measuring tape. Another box. This one is interesting because it has slots like that, it's divided. But what's interesting is the dividers come out so you can make a bigger piece. And I was like, that's cool. So you can take them all out and have one big box, or have the 4 slots, or move them around, and it just was like cool. And then it doesn't open this way. It opens long ways. So that was something unique and new. And there's more. Then this was a stack of boxes, and when I first looked at it, I was like, okay. But that's when I started unstacking them and realized, okay, that one is just an empty box. That one is divided into 5 slots. That one is the 5 this way, and then 1 long one this way. And that's a box divided into 10. I think it's 10. Yes, 10. And they all stack and lock into place with each other so they don't slide apart. And of course the box. So when I was undoing this, and people would go, well, what's in the box? So I kept pulling stuff out. They'd go, there's more? I said, yes, wait, there's more. So it was a good time that we had with the raffle, especially me and myself and one other lady. Our raffle prizes, Chekhov's falling in love with the tissue paper. Our raffle prizes came with all kinds of little sewing stuff. Some of the others were just, one lady, she won a giant rooster and an Easter bunny. And then mine and another lady's, ours came with sewing items. Another lady had all kinds of bird seed and bird feeders and hummingbird feeders and stuff like that because it was more of a garden theme. I was just immensely grateful that I won a piece that came with the scissors because I was so tired of trying to cut stuff with those broken scissors. And Chekhov has worked his way into that little teeny box. And he's got fur sticking up everywhere because he's a big fat cat. So I would put that stuff back in there, but now he is in there. That was the raffle prize. Then we also had a silent auction. And I won on the silent auction, and I won a very pretty metal box. I don't know what I'll do with this yet, but I won the box. But the box was not by itself, because otherwise I would not have bid on just a metal box. Let me see if I can get this out of here. It's stuck. No. There we go. The metal box came with fabric. And this is Crossed Wing Collection hand-painted fabric. Let's see. Do I have something to put behind this? There we go. So this green is beautiful. And that's pretty much close to the actual color. That green, and then this is also from the, what is it, Crosswing collection. This one had a chunk cut out of it. A lot of this came from a closing cross-stitch store, so you were bidding on sections, but I mean that's got a lot of fabric there. And all this was under one auction item. And there was a good amount of bidding on this section, and I very luckily won it. I got all this fabric in the middle box, woohoo, for $40. Which, if you're like me, you know how much fabric costs. Then this is a 28, excuse me, I can't speak. Is that a 2 or a 1? I guess it's 28 count. It looks like a 1, but it's a 28 count. And this is called pampas, which is a grass. And that's a green. It was all green fabrics, basically. And it's a big chunk. And it doesn't say who it was made by. But yes, that's beautiful. The piece that everybody was actually bidding on this for, that everybody wanted, because the other pieces were beautiful, but this was the piece people wanted. This is 28 count moss, and as I said, I don't know who designed these or dyed these, but this fabric is beautiful, and it's 18 by 26. And I tell you that because there's a reason why I mentioned the size. This is just a beautiful piece. As I said, I got all of those. My the final bid for that was mine, and it was $40 for all that fabric. The reason I tell you that was because one of the things at camp is we have, goodness, my hair is going crazy today. I had it all chopped off. Did you notice that? It's all going, woohoo! One of the things you do at camp is if you're finished with your pattern and you have no desire to do anything with it, rather than throw it away or sell it, and I know a lot of people sell their patterns, but I don't sell my patterns because the designer is not getting any of that money. Giving it away is one thing. To resell it and you take the money back is like, you know, I just don't do that. So this pattern was on what we call the free table. And this is from Four Oaks Designs. And I fell in love with that pattern. Now, my name was on the auction before we left and went to the store. And I didn't know if I was going to get the green fabric or not. I would like it. But when I saw this pattern, I went, oh, that'll look so pretty on that green fabric. Because when I was at the cross stitch store, I found two sulkies, or a color, but I bought two. Look at that together. Isn't that fantastic? It's beautiful. There's a problem though. This floss, this fabric are stunning together. This pattern is 2 inches too wide. I thought when I was looking at it, excuse me, my nose itches. When I was looking at it, I thought I was looking at the stitch piece plus the extra around it, which I thought, I'll just make it a narrow margin, you know, add some fabric on the side and go. No, the finished piece is 20 by 20. This is 18. It's not going to fit. So I have to decide what I'm going to do, but this fabric and these two sulkies are going to be together because I think that is just awesome. I thought about looking at the ink circles because they have a lot of those patterns, like their what's this? They're one with all the circles, and then they have the triangles and the hearts and all that. I need to find out if this is big enough for one of those because it's so beautiful. And I just, as I said, I fell in love with this fabric. It's just so gorgeous. And one of the ladies, she really wanted it, and I was like, I already know what I want to do with it. And then the pattern didn't work. I was so upset. But this is from Four Oaks Designs, and somebody was saying, I think it was Lori from Mischievous Stitchers. She doesn't know if this is still an existing designer. But I saw that and went, hey, I had just recently heard about this designer by watching her Flosstube, and I think that's gorgeous. So I need to find something to do with that. I love the center motif, that big flower. So besides that, these were my other free pictures that are patterns that I picked up. Passion Ricamo, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, it's Italian. The Joyeux Noël. People Bring Books. So I got the Mary Engelbreit. I'm going to give this to my mother. She'll never stitch it, but she loves Mary Engelbreit, and I know she'll like the pictures in here, and she can do what she wants with it. She may, who knows. She has started stitching. There are some small pieces in here. She may try and work on one of those. So I don't know if she'll do that or not. Then here is Ivy Wed. It's an old Stony, no, Cross My Heart. Yeah, it's Across My Heart. And it's got all those patterns. And I have a few wedding patterns, but I have to admit, I'm not overly fond of them. And this one has got this pattern. This pattern here. I just thought that was so pretty. So we'll see how I'm going to do that one or not. Then somebody had brought in, Somebody brought in a pattern. It's full of United States Air Force patterns. And I just realized I can't show them to you because they're all just the graphs, no colors. Then here is from Cherished Stitches, an accordion book of ornaments. As I said, all of these were just being given away because someone's already stitched them or they didn't want them. I have to admit, sometimes I gave one pattern away because I got it in a grab bag and it was an Art Deco piece and I don't like Art Deco and I was never going to do it, so I gave it away to go up there because if I'm not going to do it, somebody should. This is a fox and rabbit design. This is a pin cushion. I thought that was very pretty. This, I don't know if y'all remember this. Back in the day, let's see, what is the copyright on this? Do they have a copyright? Heaven forbid that they put it where you think you could find it quickly. I don't see a copyright on this. I want to say, let's see. We lived there in 90. This was in the mid-90s. Yeah, mid-90s. I don't remember if y'all remember them, but pillow toppers, 1996, yes. Pillow toppers were big at the time. And you cross-stitched on these pre-formed triangles. The pillow was not included. And what you did was you stitched on this little triangle and then it had a Velcro back and you attach that to your pillow. I actually bought these toppers and I still have, I think, 3. And I don't know if I'll ever do the fish because the other book I have was the angel one. I have the angels and now I have the fish one. But I liked these fish on the front. I'm not big into seashells and I don't want the dolphins or the seahorses. But I did like these fish up here. And I need to decide which one I want to use on the last couple of ones because they don't make them anymore. So we'll see how that goes. And then somebody gave away a lavender and lace. Anytime I see a lavender and lace up there, I take it because they're hard to come by nowadays. But I got that lavender and lace. And then here we have the Ultimate Book of Roses. And I love roses. This weekend was the anniversary of my father's death. So Sunday after church, we all went to his graveside and took roses. Because no matter where we lived, my dad, even when we were in the military base housing, wherever we were at, my dad planted rose bushes. And that was his thing. He planted roses. My dad probably couldn't grow a garden just to feed us worth anything. I mean, his tomatoes always, he tried to plant tomatoes every year and tomatoes always died. He'd get like 1 tomato and that'd be it. But my dad could grow roses. And all of us, my brothers, my sister, I guess, I don't know if my sister does because she's lived in several houses here recently. We all plant roses. And we've all been concerned because all our rose bushes, did they survive the horrible winter weather we had a couple of weeks ago? And it was one of those things where I really didn't stitch yesterday just because we were at my mom's house and we'd all gone and we had lunch together. We were talking about my dad and stuff. And so when I saw the Ultimate Rose book, I thought, that's what I need to do. I need to do a rose in honor of my dad. So I'll do that. And then here's another Cherished Stitches pattern. This is the Emblems of Innocence. So there's that. And then I actually saw someone make this once. And I think they used the actual silk floss 3x4, the dinky dies. But this is from the Cat's Whiskers, Fruits of the Harvest. And I have seen this done. It's very pretty. I wish you could there's not a picture of it. Oh, yeah, there is. No, there's not. I was gonna say, I wish you could see the whole thing, but it doesn't show that this is stitched all the way around. So it's not just here and here, because I've seen some that leave the backside blank, because that's where you're probably going to put it down. But this design is done all the way around. And I remember when the ladies I know who were stitching it, they were working on it. One of the ladies got off and her stuff was not coming out right, and she was having to unstitch all kinds of stuff. It was like, oh, yeah, no. So if I stitch that, I'm using DMC, and it's going to be very slow going, because I saw how badly it was when they got off just 1 or 2 stitches. Then the last thing I got was another book, and this is a Country Cross Stitch Designs by Ellen Stouffer, an American sampler in 1990. And I don't know who had it, but I think it's interesting that they actually have their markers are still in here, where they picked out what they were going to stitch and stuff. Like somebody was going to stitch the hot air balloons. So I think that's interesting that they have those marked and everything. And it's got some interesting pieces where I really like. And I don't know if I can show this without getting crazy here. Let's see. No. The design pattern pieces are big. So it's got a good size square to see things. Let's see. Look at this, check off. So you can see like that. That's a good size square. That is not one of those little teeny squares that you're having to use your magnifier going, I can't even tell what the symbol is. That makes me a little crazy when you can't see the symbol. Anyway, the last one of the last things I worked on, I have been working more on this. I think the last time I showed it to you, I had only got to here. I have now moved. Let's see if I can move you here just a little bit. Get my phone off. There we go. There we go. There is Unicorn Tapestry. I have done all the banners in one tree and started on the other one. And of course the crane, that's all new. So that is going apace. And we will see how much longer that'll take me. I'm hoping to have it done by Easter. Oops, excuse me. I really... Oh, you're crooked. Or I'm crooked. Y'all are going to get nauseous if I keep doing that. Anyway, I'm almost finished with that, and I'm going to get it done by Easter time. We'll see. The last thing to show you. One of the things I took with me to camp that I did the last time in November was I made project bags. And we get one of my bags goes for the auction, and then I sell the other bags. So I still have 3 bags available. And if you would like one, please send me a message on my email, and my email will be down below. What are you doing? He's knocking things over. I don't know what happened to my lighting. I'm turning orange. I had 2 of these bags and they sold. Or 3 of these bags and 2 sold. So I have 1 left. I found some of the last Blackbird Design fabric. And it's got a little pair of scissors. If you are interested in these bags, let me know. I have this one left. This will be $40. That includes shipping and handling. Because that's not, they're selling for less if I can hand it to you. But if I have to pay for postage, it's $40. So email me if you want this, and I'll make sure I'll make a note if they're sold out when they sell out. But that's the only one I have of Blackbird fabric left. And I probably could use it myself, but that's not what I made that one for. Then I have 2 of these Texas cows. I mean, really, they're Texas cows. How can you not love Texas cows? And they're all sitting in the blue bonnets. And then these are flowers, I think are paintbrushes down here. I forget what they're actually called. But the blue bonnets are delayed because of the snow and everything. And the inside of the bag is cow print. Once again, $40. And I'll make a note when they're sold out. So, just to let you know, I have 2 of those. My mother told me she was going to buy one, but my mother doesn't need another bag, so I didn't tell her she could have one. And these don't have the little scissors. These have some little tabs, and you could actually cross stitch something on that, but it'd be very small. But it's just a little memento if I can stitch that. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day stitching. It's a beautiful day here in San Antonio area, and I hope that everything's going well with you. Stay warm if you're still in a cold area. Enjoy the sun. I understand that this is spring break for us. My son and his family, we're going to be traveling for this spring break because he says they're tired of being locked up in the house for the last year. So I don't know how that's going to go. And then my daughter, who's a teacher, I don't know if this is her spring break or if it's next week. I know they're not always on the same weeks. So anyway, y'all have a great day. I hope you all enjoy your stitching, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.